Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today's top story comes from the Middle East, where the conflict in Syria has taken a dramatic and deadly turn. Israel has directly targeted military positions in the heart of Damascus, including a site near Syria's presidential palace. On Wednesday, July 16, the Israeli army launched airstrikes on what it called military targets in the Syrian capital. Just hours earlier, Israel confirmed it had already bombed Syria's army headquarters, marking a sharp escalation. The Israeli military says the attacks are a response to violence by Syrian government forces in Sweida, a region home to Syria's Druze minority. Israel claims that it warned Damascus to back off. Defense Minister Israel Katz said Israel would not remain silent while Druze civilians were under threat and promised more military pressure if Syria did not pull back. But many are now asking, why is Israel suddenly so involved in Syria, just months after launching one of the most devastating wars in Gaza's history? By June 2025, international monitors estimate that more than 56,000 Palestinians, including thousands of children and babies, have been killed by Israeli forces during the brutal offensive on Gaza that began in late 2023. Entire neighborhoods were flattened, and hospitals, schools, and refugee camps were struck, despite global condemnation. That conflict led to international calls for war crime investigations and left Gaza in ruins. Yet now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with strong backing from U.S. figures including Donald Trump, has turned his focus to Syria, raising serious questions. Is Israel genuinely defending the Druze? Or is this another chapter in a long history of Israeli intervention aimed at weakening its neighbors and maintaining control over strategic borders? This isn't the first time Israel has struck Syria. In fact, Israel has routinely carried out airstrikes inside Syria over the last decade, often targeting Iranian forces or Hezbollah operatives. But this time, the official justification is protecting the Druze minority. Critics argue it may also be part of a larger military strategy to push Islamist-led Syrian government forces further from the Golan Heights, a region Israel has occupied since 1967 and considers essential to its security. The current violence in Sweida began after a Druze merchant was kidnapped, sparking deadly clashes between Druze militias and Bedouin tribes. Syrian government forces entered Sweida on Tuesday, supposedly to enforce a ceasefire. But eyewitnesses say government troops sided with Bedouin fighters, leading to a rampage of violence against Druze civilians and resistance fighters. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, nearly 250 people have been killed since Sunday, July 13, including 28 civilians and over 138 Syrian security forces. Some Druze were reportedly summarily executed by government troops. Videos and eyewitness reports show mortar shelling, gunfire, and smoke rising from several parts of Sweida. In response, Israel has not only launched airstrikes but has also reinforced its military presence near the Golan Heights, clearly preparing for a broader confrontation. The leader of Israel's Druze community, Sheikh Mawafaq Tarif, called this moment an existential battle for the Druze people. But Syria's state media says it is merely fighting back against outlaw groups operating in the city. Since toppling Bashar al-Assad in December, Syria's new Islamist-led regime has faced allegations of oppressing religious and ethnic minorities, including Christians, Kurds, and now Druze. The country remains deeply divided, with years of civil war leaving power vacuums and space for armed militias and foreign influence. So what's next? With Israeli warplanes striking Damascus, over 56,000 Palestinian deaths still fresh in global memory, and sectarian violence ripping Syria apart, the risk of a wider regional war is growing. Many fear that Netanyahu's policies, backed by Western powers, could further destabilize the region and trigger new waves of death and displacement. We will continue to monitor this critical situation and bring you updates as they unfold. Thank you for tuning into KLM Institute. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay informed. Stay aware, stay safe.